Hey, it is Wednesday, and it is November 17th. It is the Hump Day, Women's Crush Wednesday edition with the sports talk and the pro wrestling talk with your host, Vasilis. Yeah, let's go, let's do this shit. So, we got the Thursday Nighter coming up tomorrow, and we got the New England Patriots versus the Atlanta Falcons. I'm going to go with the Patriots. I'm going to go with Mac 10 on all this because, well, it's Thursday Nighter. The Falcons' top offensive player he's questionable for this game tomorrow. So, it looks like it's going to probably be a slam dunk for them. I'm going to roll right through before I start all my wrestling talk and my sports talk. So my Woman Crush Wednesdays are Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and number 1, Jordan Jones. And I'm just going to leave it at that right now. I'm just not up for talking about a lot of women, so let's just leave it at that point. It's starting to look like it's going to be an uphill battle for a lot of teams. As, you got 7 weeks left in the football season, in the NFL season. So, I'm going to kind of go over a little bit of my predictions for this week's Sunday. And I'll probably do it again tomorrow and just, kind of, give you a little more of an insight on why I'm going to pick these teams and why I feel so passionate about it tomorrow and Friday. So, Patriots, they're going to win. They're a solid team. Mac Jones is doing everything he can in that, division. And Belichick, coaching him well, doing everything is right for him right now. So it's going to be an easy game. On the other flip side of that, when you go and look into the Sunday games, you got the Texans versus the Titans. I'm taking the Titans all day, every day against the Texans. Right now, Texans are 1-8. The whole Deshaun Watson saga going on there is, I know it's quiet down after the trade deadline, but still, it's probably weighing on a lot of the Houston fans' minds. What are they going to do with this guy? Try to trade him is not an option because it doesn't look like anybody's willing to take him on. Because of all his all his bullshit that goes with him. So, I can't even say anything on that. And it's just so mentally draining. You got the Ravens and the Bears. I'm taking Baltimore over the Bears. I love Justin Fields, but, Justin Fields, he's going to have a better season next year, I believe, because in the offseason, you got to start looking at the offseason. With 7 weeks left, you got to start looking at the offseason and where they can upgrade for him, possibly for offensive weapons and stuff. Saints versus the Eagles, I want to say the Saints, but I think Hurts is he's going to do all right. He's going to beat him up in Philly, so I'm taking the Eagles on this one. Colts versus the Bills. Bills have lost 2 straight so far now. So, I wouldn't be surprised if somehow, some way, the Bills just, find a way with Josh Allen was doing so good this year. I can't understand why he fell below on 2 games. It's just it's not even... I can't even explain that. To me, that's just the saddest part. But I'm picking the Bills. Cleveland's going to smash up the Lions. That's an easy take. Green Bay versus the Vikings. I'm taking Green Bay because, big bad Aaron Rodgers is back up in that quarterback spot, and he showed why he's still the number 1 quarterback for that team. Carolina, Cam Newton and friends are just going to smash into the Washington football team. The 49ers versus Jaguars. I wouldn't put it past the Jaguars, maybe going 3-7. I'm not going to have a real strong prediction on that one. I'll probably cover that one a little more tomorrow. Dolphins versus Jets. Tua is playing. Falco is starting for the Jets this Sunday. No Mike White. So I'm going to take the Miami Dolphins on this one. Bengals versus the Raiders. I'm taking the Bengals. I don't see the Raiders coming out of this rut they're in. Arizona versus Seahawks. I'll cover that one more tomorrow. The Cowboys and the Chiefs I'm going to cover more on tomorrow. The Steelers and Chargers. I'm really going with the Chargers on this one. And then you got your Monday nighter. You got the Buccaneers versus the Giants. I'm taking the Bucs on this one. The Buccaneers are going to take it. It's just how it works. That is my NFL predictions, and I'll probably go over more tomorrow. So, what happened in the news of the NHL world? You got Arizona, who won last night against the St. Louis Blues. That's a surprise. And an upset all in one. So, it works vice versa on that end. They're 2-13-1. I'll count the chickens on this one. They're out completely. Mathematically, they're going to be eliminated before the end of this year. You got the Sharks. They beat on the Wild, who are 10-5. Not a surprise. Oilers and Jets was again, a barn burner of a freaking hockey game. It was just one of those pick up where they left last year in that weird pandemic conference bubble thing going on. You had the Red Wings losing to the Stars. Sabres beat the Penguins. The Rangers beat the Canadiens. Senators have postponed 3 of their games, so there was no Senators versus Devils. Flyers took on the Flames and beat them up in the overtime. So, the Flames are stacking these, as I was saying yesterday, you have to stack these wins. You got to stack these points, especially these overtime and shootout points at the beginning of the season, because they're money at the end. They're money for you to make the playoffs. Panthers beat on the Islanders. Predators lost to the Maple Leafs. Capitals lost to the Ducks. Again, Capitals banking away some more points there. Hurricanes beat up on the Golden Knights. So, as I was saying yesterday, you got to get those necessity of points. You got to push for the extra time. Because if you don't, you're screwed. You're pretty much screwed. So, the Avalanche are facing off with my Canucks, who are 5-9-2 and are on a 4-game losing streak. What the fuck? It's nothing to do with the management. It's nothing to do with the coach. It's nothing to do with the players. It's just generally, I will say it again and again and again. I'll repeat myself, stupidly fucking crazy on this. If the refs don't call a game down the middle, it ain't even worth calling. So, you might as well, if you're going to set a team, it happens not just to my team, my Canucks, to the Canucks. It's like, if I look, the Kraken are 4-10-1, and they have a pretty damn good team. Okay, from the expansion draft. And yet, they're getting assessed penalties. It just goes to show you that most of these refs that are in this league are just too fucking stupid to know what they're doing. And I don't think they understand calling the game. They got to call the game right down the middle. As a sports fan, I want to see the game being called fairly because, well, that's how it has to be and it has to work. You can't always side with other players or other teams. To moving on, the Blackhawks versus the Kraken. I'll say the Kraken take this one. They're at home. The Capitals versus the Kings. I would say Capitals, but I got a gut feeling the Kings they're just too good of a team this year. And, I'm not going to argue with that fact. But that's my picks for tonight on the hockey. going back to the way, when I see people saying, "Oh, teams should be calling for, the dismissal of the coach or the GM," you know what? It's not necessarily their fault. They can't seem to get around what is happening in the league or with the refs in general, just because of the hard points of it's not going to work in their favor. This is kind of where, you need a new commissioner, you need a new front end office of the NHL to operate, to make sure these refs. It was Mike, the refs got caught mic'd up last year saying that he was trying to give a penalty to a team. I don't know how many times I'll have to talk about that, but that's just showing you how freaking rigged sports is starting to become. Again, I thought this all ended when Italy got busted for it with Serie A and those refs fixing games and all that, and it doesn't look like it's, even the refs in the NBA were getting caught betting on the games, fixing them so they can win. Well, you know what? It's time to end all that. It's time to, really crack down, especially. You got that going on. You got the sexual harassment, misconducts going on. You got racism going on. I think it's time for each league to just start implementing a hard-nosed rule about it and not even consider the fact that these jackasses are doing stupid amounts of shit. Now to flip over to the pro wrestling side, I did watch NXT 2.0. Dakota Kai versus Raquel Gonzalez was a really good match. It had its moments. Andre Chase versus Zion Quinn, that was another. Zion Quinn, I think, is going to be a face to watch for in NXT 2.0. I see Vince is pushing Braun Breaker a little too hard, and it's kind of starting to lose its shine to it. And really, you can't just keep pushing the same people. It kind of breaks the format to why a lot of people love pro wrestling. And honestly, I love it, but I also hate it at the same time. I love pro wrestling, but I hate it. As I say, I've had this very big notion that if something's not working or fans are starting to just kind of distance themselves from whatever you're offering, it's probably because the fans are feeling insulted, and it's time to definitely change your look on the fans. Maybe you should listen to the fans. The fans aren't always wrong, but the fans aren't always right either. But again, you can't always be picking somebody to justify your means to an endless crap hole of battling. And honestly, I take sometimes great offense to when my intelligence is getting insulted. Everybody's like, "Oh, wrestling's fake," and whatever. You know what? You guys can say that. The ones who are saying that, you can say that now. But try to go into that ring and do what they do on a nightly basis. I guarantee you, you won't be standing there. These guys put their, lives on the line to entertain us, and by people calling it fake is not a very good thing. Again, I also don't like people insulting my intelligence when I'm watching this stuff, and especially from the creative side of WWE. You got some serious issues going on in that freaking company. You might need to figure out what you're going to do with it. To go about it now, you got AEW Dynamite, the fallout from Full Gear, which I will say was a spectacular spectacular event on the behalf of All Elite Wrestling. That was fantastically done. I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. More than I actually enjoyed some of the WWE pay-per-views this year. You know, I actually really enjoyed this one more than I enjoyed any other one. Just for, it was a pure athletic, pure heart, pure everything into that event. When discussing how, you know, maybe some things could probably be, you know, could have went down or changed, I don't know. I still think, honestly, it was a good enough event that it didn't need. If you added too much to it, it would probably have been too much. If you didn't add any more to it, that's my microwave going off. Making a coffee, instant coffee. I'm cheap. But, yeah, it was just, you know, it was a good event for the way it had started and ended. I'm not going to just, you know, destroy whatever Tony Khan and company had, because honestly it was a really well done match. It was a really done pay-per-view, well done on their behalf. Like they really structured it to the point where people could enjoy this event. The stories were told very well, and I can't wait to see what they do tonight. Honestly, I can't wait to see what happens tonight. That's my take on the pro wrestling world. As I say, it is hump day. I'm making a short one today because I have to do my workout and just not feeling up to it. Mental state's kind of gone to the shithole again like usual. But that's, you know, can't wait to, you know, come home tonight and have a freaking joint like I usually do. Because now it's easier for me to smoke my weed at night and just kind of zone out. I have taken my anxiety pills. It has nothing to do with anybody. It has everything to do with me. My life is just kind of... I screwed up somewhere along the lines with some people, and it's kind of taken me to a whole new level of not just anxiety, but stress and depression and all that fun-filled crap that everybody hates. And I'm one of those people that generally hates this crap. You know, it is Movember. So remember, grow that stash for a bro, for a dad, for a cousin, for a nephew, for a friend, you know, for a grandfather, for an uncle. You know, it is that time of the year. You gotta do something. You know, sometimes your life isn't as shitty as you think it is. We all deal with our own shit in different ways. And, you know, I absolutely respect people. So, you know, remember, when we're growing that stash for these people from November, remember, everybody counts. Cancer does not discriminate. It is one of those tough feelings I had to go through earlier this year, and, you know, latter half of last year. My dad was diagnosed with prostate. We got it early, thank God. And yeah, it's been one of those times. And me dealing with my mental state is a real shitty state of mind for me, because I can't seem to think straight half the fucking days. I feel like crap because, you know, I screwed up with people. And I hate that. And the person I want to talk to is not responding to me, so I'm just going to leave that person alone. It really does suck. Go through shit, and I know they're probably going through shit too, so, you me being me and an idiot, I'm just going to leave it at that. But my Women Crush Wednesdays again. Julia Hart, Sky Blue, and Jordan Jones. And you know what? Have a happy hump day, everybody. Enjoy it. Here in BC, it's sunshine. Thank God it's sunshine. And, I'll catch you guys all tomorrow on a Thunder-like Thursday, where I will break down why I did not do a couple of picks. But again, happy hump day, Woman Crush Wednesday, and have a great week, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.